Hello and welcome to the Say Yes Movement podcast with Heather and John, where we help you with your professional and personal growth, helping you say yes to all the scary stuff. Hey Heather, how's it going?
It's going good, John. How about yourself? You are on the road again. Where are you heading to this time?
This time I am headed to St. Thomas, which is just on the other side of London, Ontario. So it is, I've been on the road for a bit already. So I'm almost there. I'm just a few minutes away from St. Thomas, but it's been a nice drive. There's nothing like being on the road as the sun's coming up first thing in the morning. It's a beautiful sight, actually.
I
But it's a
love
little
that,
bit chilly.
John.
Yeah, it's a bit chilly this morning, though.
I know that you're loving this new client visits that you're doing because it takes you all over the place. But here's a fun fact about St. Thomas that you might not know. And there's sort of these big monuments all over. If you go to Sudbury, you can see the nickel. But in St. Thomas, you can see a big elephant statue. And if
All right.
anybody out there knows why there is an elephant statue in St. Thomas, put it in the comments. But there was that when the circus came to town, there was a very, very loving elephant named Jumbo that actually passed away in St. Thomas years and years ago. So, fun fact: you'll see a big elephant when you drive into town. So, have fun in St. Thomas.
Yeah, I'll have to stop and take a photo and post it because it's the first time I've ever seen anything like that. So, yeah, no, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So, how was your weekend? How was your weekend? How were things?
You know what, John? I've been working on our workshop that we're going to do in December, doing my own reflection process, putting together my brag book, and looking at the things that I wanted to get done that didn't get done to see what was the missing ingredients that was there, and what I realize is that there's three components to everything that we want to do. You got to believe that you want to do it. You've got to know what you want to do, and then you got to take action. And so there's some things that just aren't finished yet, and we're getting to the finish line for the year. That's okay. I'm going to put them on my next year's goals. But one or two of those things were missing, or I took a curveball in the process. But the ones that I was successful at, all three were home runs. So it was really neat to do that own reflection. And, we're going to teach everyone how to do that and why people fail, why people fall off of their goals so quickly and so easily. It's really just a formula. John, how about yourself?
Yeah, no, listen, I've been doing the same. I've been reflecting on this past year and really thinking about, what's going to go into this workshop. I'm super excited about what we're putting together, right? It's just thinking about the different elements, how we're going to get you to your goal, your first goal in 2024 in 90 days. Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually the essence of, the workshop is really to set that first goal and then, help you build up and get to the place where in 90 days you hit that first goal. Because the one thing both of us know is when you have one success, it leads to other successes. And the quicker
Mm-hmm.
you can get to one success, the quicker you can get to everything else that's going to be coming for you in 2024. So really, kind of building on what you said, where's that belief come from, right? This morning I was listening to, my mentor and coach, Bob Proctor, on my drive because I've got time. And what's been showing up for me is just about my self-image, right? The one
Ooh.
thing I didn't believe in last year is that I could be an Ironman 70.3, right? Like that just wasn't in
Mm.
my self-image of John. Like, who's John, this Iron Man guy who's gonna go out and do something for 8.5 hours? Like, I didn't know who he was, but he was always there. He was always inside of me, right? And I think this is the thing that both of us have gone through this year is kind of pulling out that other part of us that already exists. And the beauty is
Mm-hmm.
when you hop into these goals, when you create, and really what we're doing is creating, when you create this goal for yourself, it's not something you're creating, it's something that already exists, and it's just tapping into that place inside of you that's going to get you there. And really that's, if with your permission, we'd love to be your guides in that process to help you get there. Because it's worked for us and we've got our own mentors and teachers that have showed us the path to get there, and just starting with the framework that you just talked about, right? You got to start with your belief, right? And that belief, leads to, activities and actions that you have to take in order to get there. It's so
Mm-hmm.
powerful. I know it's so simple though. It's so simple. So Heather, why don't people do this? Like, The framework is so simple. What stops us and hold us is what holds us back.
It's a paradigm shift to think it's already
Mhm.
there. People are always thinking that they don't have something, and then if they don't have something, they can't get it. But that shift in the mindset of it's already there, you just have to step into your future
Mm,
self that already has that. That really means that you have to let go of limiting beliefs. You have to let go of beliefs that might have been instilled in you from your childhood, from your parents' beliefs. You may have excuses still showing up, like I don't have enough time. And all that means is that you haven't prioritized it, or you haven't figured out your why to make it part of your non-negotiables, and make it a just non-negotiable action that you're going to take. And as soon as you're consistent in your non-negotiable actions, the results that you're looking for are going to show up, and they show up pretty quickly when consistency is there. And that's one of the
mm,
frustrations that many people have, especially with things like weight loss. People are always trying to lose 10 pounds or trying to do something, and they'll go on a diet for a set period of time, and then they lose that consistency, so they lose their results, and they feel frustrated, or they feel like they're set back, and really all that they've done is lost their consistency. They haven't lost anything else. They just lost the actions doing it on a consistent basis. And so we activate people to understand what the process is, and then what's going to be the speed bumps that are getting in the way.
mm.
And listen, we all have speed bumps at every level of your success. You'll have new speed bumps. So getting good at navigating these speed bumps is going to help you with the next goal and the next goal and the next goal. So if you're frustrated or stuck somewhere, it's okay. You're going to have that same activity happen in your brain for the next thing that you're going to achieve. John, I sent you an Ironman, a guy that did 101 in 100 days, and you're like, that's
That's crazy.
impossible. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's not impossible because someone's done it.
Done
So,
it. Yeah.
everything is possible. Everything is out there if it is something that you want to go after. So, we're going to teach people how to take consistent action. And it's not sexy to be consistent, but one thing a day is going to get you to that next place.
Yeah. No, you know what? You touched on something important. And really that consistency part, and going back to what we talked about self-image, and I love you got a keynote actually around this, around the thermostat, right?
Mhm.
Are you a thermostat or are you a thermometer? And, from what I remember from your keynote, the thermostat is really your set point, right? So no matter what happens, no matter how great you are or how underachieving you are, you will always settle in at your thermostat number, right? Like you'll always go
Mhm.
back to that. And as we've raised our thermostats this year, Heather, right? Like we've got over
Mm.
100 episodes of our podcast. We're educators now, like we're teachers, like officially like teachers in an institution. We've reset what that thermostat looks like, and that becomes the new standard. And a
Yes.
lot of times where people fail on being consistent is just their thermostat is set either too low or it's not set at a place where they want it to be, because that's why you end up going to those behaviors, right? You talked about weight loss, and not that weight loss is everything, because it's not.
No.
But when you think about weight loss, if you think you're going to be somebody who weighs a certain weight, no matter what happens, no matter how much you lose or how much you gain, you're always going to go back to that weight, because that's that thermostat number that you're set at. And this is
Mm.
why it's so important, and this is what we're going to be showing all of you, is really how to shift that thermostat number, right? Because that's what we've been able to do this year, right?
Mhm.
And we've been able to do that through various parts of our life, right? Like when I think about our own careers in terms of what we've done, we keep shifting that thermostat number. And that's
That's
what we
right.
want to share with you with this workshop. This is what we want to share with you with the 3-month mastermind that we also got coming, because it's really around shifting that thermostat. And every time you shift that thermostat, that's what enables you to stay consistent, because now you can see yourself that way. It's so powerful. It's so powerful. Wow.
I love the thermostat thermometer approach, because when you set your thermostat at home, the house and your works to stay at a certain level. And sometimes it means turning on the air conditioning, sometimes it means turning on the heat. And it's the same thing for our lives. Sometimes we got to turn up the heat on our goals, and sometimes we can just coast because, the temperature outside is okay and everything's good. And sometimes we're not feeling so great. So, similar to my trip in Mongolia, I was cold. And so you got to do something to stay warm, or you got to do something to elevate the actions you're taking. So it's to stay consistent in that temperature or in that
Mhm.
goal setting or in whatever it is in your life. But if you're running hot and then you're running cold and then you're running hot, you're not stable. And that, is not great for mental health. It's not great for your mood. It's not great for your anxiety and your fear. And it's not great for your heart rate. So all of these things that we're talking about not only will help you achieve your best life, but it'll give you longevity for that life, because those are
Mhm.
the things that actually are just chipping away at your longevity. And I don't know about you, John, but I want to live as long as I possibly can, a healthy and vital life, which means I have to take action now so that when I'm in my 70s, 80s, 90s,
Yeah.
movement is easy. Happiness is easy. Joy is easy. And I'm looking for the ways to make sure that I'm always going to be vital. That's what I want. That's
Yeah.
what everybody wants.
Yeah, no, I love that. Listen, I've got and my good friend Pat, who's now 72, she's planning for her 75th birthday and her 100th birthday, right? Like,
Wow.
so, yeah, she's like, I'm going to be around. Like, I'm going to plan for those things because I'm going to be here. And I'm so inspired by that because at the age of 72, she's actually living a whole life, a model of a life that I didn't even know existed, right? And this is why I get inspired by her in terms of what she's doing because she's working out, she's doing yoga, she's stretching, she's hiking. Like, it's just it's amazing what you can do when you start to shift that thermostat, right? Because right now, actually not right now, it's actually shifted for me, but years ago when I used to think about 50s and 60s and set like 50s 60s and 70s, you start to see people on a decline, right? A decline in their
Mm,
health, decline in their energy, a decline in their motivation, a decline in their patience. Like, it, to me, that's what I saw. When we talk about things that get passed on to you from prior generations, these are things that got passed on to me. And I used to think, well, yeah, I'll probably live till 70, 72. And, if I'm lucky, I'll still be walking. Like, no, right? Like, for
mm.
me now, that's like, forget that. I want to be hiking. I'm going to be doing all kinds of things because, maybe I'll even be doing an Ironman at 75. Like, who knows? I saw somebody do it at the age of 80, right? And this is,
Okay.
when we talk about our environment, we talk about the people around us. Who are you surrounding yourself with? And are you surrounding yourself with the people that are doing the things that you want to do?
I
Right? The
I
thing.
I love this visualization of the future because people avoid this. They avoid thinking, and there was an app that was going around. You could see yourself as an older person, and
Yeah.
it was kind of funny because you immediately looked like your parents and went, "Oh my goodness, that's so scary." But I love that idea of planning your 90th and your 100th birthday party. I have something similar. I've actually visualized myself 90 years old because I have a tattoo that I add on every 10 years. So when I'm 90, I'm going to be in the tattoo parlor getting the addition, and I've earned that extra piece. So I've actually visualized getting to
Nice.
90. Now, does that guarantee you're going to get to 90? No, it does not. So, don't wait. And we know that we're losing people at a younger age for different diseases. Cancer is prevalent, heart disease. But if you're doing the things that are consistent today, believe me, you're going to be able to visualize
Mhm.
and then and then get to my tattoo is going to be when I'm 90 years old. And I think that's just so fun. Like, how fun is that? So think about how it's going to feel like when you are at your best version of yourself and also 90 years old. And John, you are going to do an Ironman when you're 80, not maybe. You are going to do one, or something
Yeah.
that's just as fun.
Yeah, no, it's so this is the power of vision boards, right? This is why I love vision boards. And one of the things I have on my vision board is to be the fittest that I can be at the age of 50, which really isn't that far away from me. And I'm getting close to it, right? Like, I just didn't think, when I used to think of 50, I would think of somebody who's like, getting ready for retirement, getting ready. I'm like, I'm just winding up, man. There's no winding down here. Like, I'm ready to go. And but this is, you got to hold that vision of yourself, right? So when we talk about the
Mm-hmm.
power of getting to your goal in the next 90 days, you have to see yourself in that goal, already accomplishing that goal. You have to actually be, and this is one of the activities I know I did for my Ironman, is what you did for Mongolia, is see your side on the other side of that goal. What does it look
Mm-hmm.
like? What does it feel like? Right. And I remember like just the tears running down my face being on the other side of this goal as I crossed the finish line. And it didn't happen in the actual race because, there were moments in the race where tears were just flushing down my face. I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm almost done. And it was just an excitement, right? Like you could feel like you don't have to wait to accomplish something to feel that in your body. You
Mm-hmm.
can do that now through the power of visualization. You can do it just by just closing your eyes and stepping into that moment. And listen, I can do it now. I'm signing up for my next Ironman 70.3, so that's going to be happening July of next year. Super excited, and I'm moving forward with that. And my goal is to beat the time from last year. So I'm already visualizing what that looks like, right?
Wow.
And you can step into that at any moment. We all do. I just want to say good morning to Gurpreet and good morning to Felicia. You guys are here with us. We can step into any version of ourselves. And I know, Gurpreet, you've gone through a reinvention, and Felicia, you as well, as you're going through your Toastmaster journey, you're going through that reinvention right now. Like we all have that ability. We all have that power within us right now, but we're
Mm-hmm.
not, there's moments where we forget that we have this, right? There's moments where we forget that we actually are capable of doing whatever it is we want,
Yes,
right? And this is why I'm
absolutely.
so excited for our workshop. I'm so excited. Like, just, yeah, this is, yeah, if we think about what we've created, Heather, you and I, over the last year and a half, and where we're going to be, what we're going to be creating this year, it's going to be the accumulation of all of that, yeah, super excited.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, super pumped.
Wow, what a Monday. What
I
a
know.
Monday.
Who knew a 2-hour drive could wake you up like this, right?
Exactly. Now, I know for last year, John, me and you, we had words that were our theme for the
Mhm.
year, and mine was strength, and so I'm also journaling how strength has shown up, and it's shown up both in physical and in mental capabilities. And I don't have my word for 2024. That is a process that will also bring everyone through, and I want to make sure that I'm honoring the right word. So I do want to do some journaling and do the work before we pick our words. But you had a word as well, and how has that shown up for you this year?
Yeah, no, my word this year, I know yours was strength, mine was abundance, right? And just
Mm,
abundance and everything that's showing up for me. Um, yeah, you know what? When you start to focus and you start to see it, abundance is all around us, right?
mm-hmm.
And even this morning, as I was driving, I was just thinking, wow, like I get to see, parts of Ontario that I've not ever seen, right? I've never been to St. Thomas. So it'll be, I'll go see the elephant. I'll go see a Jumbo, see a statue of Jumbo in a few minutes. But, there's a world out there that we don't even know exists because we just don't know, right? So you got to put yourself in, this is why you got to say yes to the scary stuff, right?
Yeah.
Saying yes gets you into places that you didn't even know existed,
Yes.
right? And this brings us back to why we started this whole podcast in the first place, because we were saying yes to, the unknown. We were saying yes to just putting ourselves out there. We were saying yes to creating impact in the world, right? And yes, Felicia, I remember your word, courage. We actually have
Courage.
a list of some of your words. And Gurpreet, if you want to jump in on this, what would be your word? If there was one word that, symbolized what this year meant for you, what's that one word? And that's what we're going to continue and build on. Even part of our workshop, we're going to take that, we're going to create that one word for you because it becomes the theme for everything that you do for yourself. And I
Exactly.
love it. Yes. No, Felicia wants to see
Exactly.
pics. All right. We'll have
She wants
to
to see,
send
I
some
think she
pics.
wants to see pics of the elephant or of your Iron Man. I don't know. Just send her some pics. That's awesome.
I will.
So
I will.
for everyone out there, start thinking about what would 2024 look like, and what would be one word that could capture everything that you're looking to achieve, everything that you believe is possible, and everything that you want in your life. And just one word that will symbolize, or that you can go back to, that will remind you to stay consistent, to stay on track. And it's okay if that word isn't coming to you. We will do a reflection process. We will find that word for you during the workshop. But there's a word that probably popped into your head right now.
Mhm.
Write that down. That's your call to action today. And maybe that word, just see how you can honor it today. And, right away, mine was focus. Focus. I've had
Oh,
trouble focusing and I have to get a couple things done today that need extreme focus. So my word's focus. John, what's your word for the day?
you know what? Mine is just listening, right? So I'm going
Mm,
into an all day coaching conversation, and so yeah, it's going to be about listening and just being. Actually, there's two words. One is listening. The other one's just being present. So just being
ooh,
there for my clients and supporting them as they're going through their own change and transformation. So super
I love it.
excited about that. Yeah, yeah. So
Well,
great.
you've got some
So go
people to see and some elephants to take pictures of. So
All right, so that wraps up this episode of the Say Yes Movement podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Be back on Wednesday where we're going to share some more insights and strategy in terms of building and creating that amazing goal for yourself that you're going to be able to hit in 90 days. All right, so thank you for listening in. Remember, when you shift your mindset, you shift your life. Wishing you all a great one. Talk to you all soon. Take care, everybody.